Okay, someone asked a really good question about how you transform Smithereen's weapon here into the tire so that it has this rim. So to answer that question really quick, it's really this center piece that comes off, and you have to put in this attachment to the center, and then you have to attach the other piece, which is very difficult to put on because the center gray piece just keeps coming off while you're trying to snap this piece in here, which I'm telling you again, trying to get that tab in here is really hard, especially with these spikes that are very painful when you're pressing into them. So, okay, I got it. You heard that sound, so it's a really tight fit. Once you do that, then you can remove his weapon, and then you have to also detach this tire from the staff, and then you just kind of close this up with this in the middle as best you can. I don't know any easier way to do this because these points here are kind of in the way. So maybe like this, and then you stretch it open, and then you close it, and ow, all these spikes hurt a lot. There's the tire. So that should answer the question. But I want to point out, you know, it's kind of unfortunate that they did not paint these spikes this orange-red color, because now that looks like it's an unfinished product. And it would have been nice if they could have done it to the chest piece as well. So that's kind of unfortunate, but I wanted to point that out. And so now from here, I guess I will just transform this figure and point out this is definitely a parts former. So we already took out the chest piece, the staff, and you still have to take off all these other pieces. His other tire, which is very hard because it's tight and very painful because of these spikes, but it's tight there, so I can see how they tried to fix some issues with their earlier releases by tightening up these joints. And then let's see, you need to also take off his shoulder armor, and also these spikes on his knees. Can't lose those. So already you should tell that this is a parts former. Even his weapon, you gotta split in half because they formed the axles for his wheel. Okay, now the fun part, actually the very difficult part, which is transforming it. So first thing you want to do is open up this back piece. So you got to untab it from the lower one, because the upper one is for vehicle mode. And then it does slide up and down, so you want to slide it up, and this gasket fell off. That's not a tight fit, but like I was saying, for transformation, this piece does slide up and down, and you're going to have to pull this area out. So let me get a better angle so you can see. You're going to have to pull all of this out. So let's see. And it doesn't pull out all the way, so you're going to have to slowly turn it as you're lifting it. I mean, if you can see, as I'm lifting it, I'm slowly rotating it. Okay, now once I got it out, actually now lift this piece up and over. Okay, this thing fell off again, so I'll put it off after. Then you got to bring the front part of the vehicle over here, and then you're going to have to pull this out. So now you got something like that. This is a little bit challenging to do. I know I just made it look a little easy, but I'm just pointing out that it is a little hard. And fortunately, these accessories, the rear mirrors and the brakes, they stay on the bars, because the earlier releases, I think it wasn't tight enough. So I think that's something else KFC did to try to improve these figures, is they tightened up a lot of the joints. Okay, so now that we got that, now let's see. We have to get his head in there, but to do that we lift this up, and I found it easier to kind of turn his head sideways, so I can lift these pieces up. Same thing on this side, and then turn his head around, and then tuck in these antennas. Well, actually, maybe kind of did that wrong, because the head should be behind these chest pieces. So something like that. Then you got to tuck this head in. Do a side view so you can see what's going on here. And then you kind of got that situated. So these are going to stay up in the vehicle mode. And then these arms, they do untab here. But I want to point out, you do got to rotate these arms around 180. And then, let's see if I can remember here. Then you can fold his arms up, and it's gonna have to go over this way, and that's where you have to just make sure you have clearance here, because you got to make sure it's like 90 degrees here. So get it all the way around, and then but it does go at an angle. Just want to also point that out. It goes at an angle. So arms are something like that. And then here, this is a little tricky, but these little pieces here, you got to lift them up. So to lift them up, you got to get some clearance. So you got to turn the hand, lift the thumb up, so you have access to this area to lift that up, because that's a tab that's going to tab into the foot in vehicle mode. Once you do that, you could put the thumb back down, rotate it back. Do the same thing on this side. Rotate the hand, get the thumb out of the way so you have access here, and you gotta lift up this tab. and close the thumb, close the hand, rotate it back. Okay, and you just kind of leave it like this for now while you get the foot transformed. So let me see the foot. First of all, extend these legs by pulling them down, and then there's a little tab here. You just bring it down, and then you lift this over where it's gonna just fit in here like that. It's probably gonna come undone while I'm transforming, but just showing you what you need to do. Bring that down and then turn it to the side and like that. Okay, now the foot. You have to tuck in this heel on both sides, extend it, and rotate it 180. And then, before you can lift these legs up, you're going to have to adjust these hips. So, you're going to lift up these flaps a little bit. And you got to be careful because I can see this is going to break. So just make sure you're grabbing it close to the center here. And then that should untab this area. So you bring it up like that. And so you got the hip something like that. And then here you want to lift these pieces up. These are tabs, sort of. So I'll show you. And you bring the leg up and you can see kinda sorta tabs in there on the leg. And then do the same on this side. Lift the leg up, and then there is this piece in here you're going to have to pull out, but it just keeps sliding back in. But you're going to have to pull them out because these arms are supposed to tuck in underneath that piece. So you're going to have to kind of hold this piece while you get this foot in, the hand in, and then you can see that tab and the port for the tab, and you just lock it in place. Like I was telling you, this piece just kind of comes undone, so you bring it down and let's put it back. Now I'll do the same thing on the other side. Get this leg up and tuck the hand in while trying to make sure this cover stays out, and then tab in the foot. There you go. And now you take the tire with I guess the orange spikes and split it a little bit and just tab him in on the inner part of his knee on both sides. Get that locked, and then let's see, then you can kind of close up these arm areas. So now you can bring down this front piece. You heard that snap. It's that tab. Just kind of bring it down, snap it in place. And like I was telling you, this piece slides up, and the tab, so I was telling you, in vehicle mode it goes on the upper area. So tab that in, and then you can adjust this windshield here. There's two small little tabs that go in. And then, let's see, you got to put together his is front part of the tire. So you can see where it attaches right there. So there's a port here. There's two of them. It goes in, should tab in. Yeah. I don't know why this one's kind of falling off. You gotta make sure you get that in there. And then the other one, this one has a peg, and that one has a hole. So you attach that, and then just adjust these so where you can put in the tire, and just carefully put that in, and there you go. Now, like I said, this is a parts former, so you gotta attach the other pieces. So these spikes that used to be on his knee, they come off, and it shows that they attach to the front. I don't know, I'm just going by what the picture images show. So it takes off from here, and you have to attach them to the front. And then, more parts forming, you got to attach these shoulder pieces on here. But it's not enough room, so what you have to do is you have to open this up as carefully as you can, because you don't want to do what I just did there, untab it from the ball socket. So you're gonna have to put it back on. And like I said, this is a little tricky. So you gotta make sure you get it all squared out like that. And then you can bring this down. And there are tabs here where it goes in to lock it in place. Now that you got that, now you have room to tab these shoulder armors. So tap that in, and tap the other side in. Carefully, because it is a little tight, so you're gonna have to push it in. Okay, and once you got all that, it's done. But this piece came off. I think I'm gonna have to just put a little Elmer's glue so that doesn't come off anymore. And there you go, you have Smithereen in his vehicle mode. So it's kind of cool, does kind of roll. Like I was saying, it's kind of unfortunate they didn't paint these front spikes orange here like they did on the rear. So that's really unfortunate. But it does roll, and it does have these bike handles. I don't know how well that works because it's going a little crooked. So I'll just leave it like this because it seems to hold up pretty nicely like this. So yeah, that's got untabbed here, so just tab it back in. So that's Smithereen transformed into his vehicle mode. Okay, I don't like to keep my transformers in vehicle mode unless there's some good reason for it. So now I'm gonna transform this back into robot mode. So like I said, this is a parts former. So first thing, just take off his shoulder armor, which is pretty tight. untab these spikes because they're going to move from up on his arms to his lower leg. And then let's see, let's close this back up as carefully as you can without untabbing it. So, and yeah, see, it's just not good clearance here. Okay, got it. And then let's see, more parts forming. Untab this, and might as well just form his weapon right away. So take that off, attach these pieces on, and then you gotta see the two pins, that's where it opens. So open this up, take out the center piece, split this, and then you can attach this. There's a pin here that goes in here, and there you go. Now you have his weapon. This piece, you're gonna have to untab it to split it, because this is gonna form his chest. Put that aside. There really is no place for this in robot mode, so put that aside. And now, let's see, just lift this up, lift these up, untab these feet from the arms, bring them down, and split this. You can take off his tire. So thing came off again. And extend his legs. Bring these, didn't see that, bring these down. And then, let's see, put these side pieces back to the front. Close that. Same thing, bring this to the front. That one already closed on its own. Turn the foot 180, bring out his heel. Turn the foot 180, bring out his heel, and then push his legs back in. And then, let's see, bring this down. You can see how it is supposed to tab in here. And then carefully bring these hip flaps down. So I can tell if you don't do it from a right position, you might break it. Okay, now bring his arms down. And let's see, gotta extend his arms. Let's bring this back up so you can see, bring his arms back up. And then you gotta rotate it 180, rotate it 180. He does parts come off like a Junkion should. And then just these arms, and then you could just tuck these tabs down. Okay, this is where it's gonna get tricky, trying to get all of this to go back in. So first things first, let's get the head out. Okay, and then bring these shoulder pieces down. Bring this shoulder piece down, and then you can tab that in. And now you got to bring all this back. So how do we do that? First, we've got to untab this windshield like that, and then you're going to extend all of this bring these bars together. And this is where you're going to have to figure out just how to rotate these so that they don't get in the way. I think the best way is just to kind of fold this in like that, have these down to get it as flat as I can get it. Okay, now we're going to have to tuck this through, which is going to be a little challenging here. We'll bring this all the way down. Might give more clearance. Bring this through, and well, there you go. That piece came off. So this is one of the issues with this design. These pieces, small pieces, can come off. So now I'm going to try to put this back on the right location. Let's see. Okay, it's just underneath there, so snap that back in. Hope this doesn't untab. Let's see. Okay, now you're going to have to rotate this 180, so the bars are going to go in to that cavity as best as you can. Like I said, there's up and down. These tabs go on the lower port in robot mode. So once it got all that, you can tab it in, bring this down, and just adjust this head, which maybe you want to get the head in first before you close this. Yeah, because I don't have the clearance here, so maybe gotta untab his chest. Make sure that this comes down first. Which is giving me a little difficulty here. Okay, got it. So you want, and then kind of close that up. Now just do everything all over again. Just make sure you can get that in as much as you can. I found that, you know, sticking up right there kind of helps a little bit. This is the real tricky part. Okay, it's about as best as I can get it, and just to make sure they tab in on both sides. Okay, now the head's out, antenna's out. Okay, now you gotta put back these pieces, because like I said, this is a parts former. So let's put back his horns and his knees. These are much tighter fit than the earlier releases, so it's a little bit better than the earlier releases, but they still can come off. Okay, let's bring it down a little bit, and so attach his shoulder armor. Let's tab that in. It's pretty tight fit. Let's tab that in. And then this piece, the two-piece, the larger one goes on the top, where you gotta make sure you open it all the way so you're getting a circle and a half circle, half circle. And then attach this bottom piece. Okay, and you can attach his legs pretty much wherever you want. Put him on his leg, and then Open up his hand, and unlike Scraps, where his axe just doesn't tab in very well, this one does tab in really nice. Holds up really nice, so that's good. Just close the hand, and then, like I said, I got to put some Elmer's glue so that this doesn't come off anymore. Now you got Smithereen back in his robot mode, and this is a nice looking figure. It's a parts former, but still looks good nonetheless. So that's Smithereen back in robot mode.